I just know that he is a great player and a great person from just what I've seen. Don't know too much, about him, but I have seen that he's been doing the same thing since it was high school when Prime had his Truth team, to him at Jackson State, to him at Colorado, and to him in the league now. So I think it's a testament to not just himself, but those that were around him, his dad, his brothers, for keeping him going and keeping him in a straight line to be able to handle adversity and all the different things that may come his way. So I'm excited to see what he does in his career in the league.
How was Shedeur and Bennett with the run?
Great, because I feel like the competition-wise, it's great to have. And then I think he's also a good person. And I think that's what goes along with bringing people into this locker room, not just having someone that can play ball exceptionally well, but make sure they can fit and gel and mesh mentally with you and physically as well with the guys to be able to come out here and do what he's supposed to do. So.
What are your takeaways from the game Thursday night against the Bengals, like the way you and Keely kind of performed?
I'm sorry, you said takeaways from the game, and it phased out a little bit after that.
And how you and Keely kind of performed, what your takeaways are from that, like what learning experience?
The takeaways from the game were just honing in on the fundamentals, the details of your job, your assignment, and just going out there and be able to perform. I think that's the biggest takeaway, at least for me, of the game was just the details, fundamentals, and technique will really help you thrive and succeed, in this league.
Adoree, with all the moving pieces in the secondary, how much has Reed meant just in terms of communication?
Reed has been, a great communicator, not just on the field when you see him, but off the field, with us as well as teammates in the locker room to be able to help with anything. And I feel like he gives him, it's like an open door. You feel okay with asking questions or him speaking to you because you know that he comes from a great place and he's been in his system, obviously, undrafted, I believe. And to be able to, have 4 takeaways last year, be able to start and to establish yourself on this team and in this league, you can respect that. And, when someone like that speaks, you want to listen because he's done got it out the mud or the dirt, as some people would say, and it's been successful.
How good was Aziz when you guys were with the Giants, and do you feel like the numbers could be a lot bigger if he'd just been able to stay healthy?
I think Aziz his rookie year, I think he may have had 10 sacks. I don't know. I think so, but I used to joke with him all the time, like, might get defensive rookie of the year. You know what I mean? Like, and he was playing at a high level. But in the same conference, that we did have Michael Parsons that came out the same year with him. So I think he won it that year. But I think Aziz, is an exceptional talent. He works hard, very quiet, but respectable to the game, to his teammates, to his coaches, and just wants to go out there and get better. So I think Aziz is an exceptional talent.
And I know it's hard for you to watch another position when you're playing a game, but can you see the same traits in him now that, he's still a very young guy?
Yeah, I take it to, I don't know the guy who asked me about Shedeur, but pretty much, to be able to stay in this league, to be able to produce in this league, you have to be able to do what got you here. And I feel like he's been able to do that, and I don't expect nothing less. When I go out there and see him, he does great moves. He's doing great things, to help himself and then help us as well, And I think that's the great thing about this team, to be able to feed off each other. And you said, like, to see what others are doing. Like, you see somebody rushing his tail off. Now you just want to cover your tail off because those two go hand in hand. And maybe one might not be there and the other one is, and it's still helpful. So just to be able to lock in, like I was saying earlier, the details, the technique, and the fundamentals of the game. Your brother's doing his job. You just want to do yours.
What are your early impressions of the new guy, Adoree and Bennett? I know you've only had a few practices with him, and what he kind of brings to the competition
My first impressions was he's a cool dude. I asked him about Tay Banks because he was with Tay, and he said that was his guy. And I'm like, Tay a good dude. So if that's your guy, I assume that you're a good person as well. He asks me a lot of questions. I give him answers when needed. And I feel like that's nice for a guy to come into a situation wanting to learn, wanting to be the best they can be, even after the day or after practice, just always talking to be able to help each other out. And he does a lot of great things well, as if you've seen in the scrimmage. Is exceptional, able to get his hands on, pressing, can play off. From what I've seen in the individual drills, has great ball skills. And I read something like he played only 8 games last year or whatever and had 10 PBUs. So that also tells you a lot about him, a competitor that has a knack for the ball. So I think, with him coming in, not just being a competitor, I'm always going to say this, man, he's a good person, and he meshes well in the room with us.
Speaking of Tay, are you surprised that he's having to fight for a job up there?
See, when you say surprise, I want to say yes, but I also want to say no, because I feel like every year you should be feeling like you're fighting for a job, no matter if you're the cornerback 1, cornerback 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7. I feel like, you always should be competing or feel like you're in a competition for the job, because competition just helps you grow and become better. I haven't really followed or known too much on that situation, but those are my guys. So whoever he's battling with, I'm always gonna root for him, because I done blood, sweat, and tears with the guys, and know the player they can be, and seeing great things out of them as well. So always wishing